I should lift my computer out. Oh,
So I
look,
was
man.
sitting at a conference, wireless zone conference, years ago, and there's a gentleman to the left of me. I recognize him for many reasons. One of which, sorry, Walter, I have to do this because I love basketball cards. So I could totally recognize who he was. I also knew he was going to speak at the conference, and he motivated me. And part of what we're trying to do as we turn this corner into driving really the motivation on how do we get this thing back going. Walter obviously has a message that is super powerful that we want to share with you guys as an audience. So me talking does no good. Walter, I want to bring you in. Thank you so much for joining us. Greatly appreciate it. Would love for you to kick it off. Like, where's your mindset at right now? I mean, you're an entrepreneur, just like everybody else is watching this. Like,
Yes.
are you bracing for opportunity right now? Like, where's your head at?
Honestly, I'm having a blast. I'm having a ball. And I think my sports background is really a benefit because if you think about it, in sports, we have an off season. And for me, I attack my off season. It's the only way I made it to the NBA. You guys know my story. I didn't start in college. In fact, my freshman year, I didn't play a lick. And I went to my coach and I was like, who do I need to become to play in the NBA? Like, what do I need to do to get to this next level? And he said, hey, this off season, you got to work on your rebounding, your dribbling, and your shooting. And so when I thought about my off season, that was my opportunity to get away from my business and work on my business. And in my off season, I got bigger, I got stronger, I got faster. And we had this conversation every year. And so after a while, my off seasons, I would attack them. In about 4 years, I was transformed from a college reserve to an NBA starter. So when I got into business, I realized that an off season was the key to success. We have off season retreats. We do off season facilitations. We take small business owners through their off season and we've sold them on an opportunity to get out the rat race, get out the grind, and pull it back from your business and work differently. So right now, because of our quarantine, this is a great opportunity for us to take an off season. I've been doing 100 keynotes a year for a long time, and I've had all these things I wanted to do, but I've been so busy, I haven't gotten a chance to do it. I'm working harder than ever right now because we're building our business to make sure it's stronger. And every little detail, everything we thought about, every little gap, every little process, every little automation, every little single detail, we've been able to work on it and upgrade it. And I'm telling you, we've got more reach with our marketing already. And when we're in position that when this is over, we're going to get bigger, stronger, and faster. I had a conversation with two different business guys in the same day. And it was confirmation for me what our mindset should be right now, because this is an off-season opportunity. Maybe the only off-season opportunity we all get for the rest of our careers. In this one conversation with two different business guys the same day, one business guy confessed to me that he was throwing a pity party and he was just couldn't wait until this was over. He's watching the news all day. Do we have a quarantine? Are we going to shut down? When are we going to open back up? When are things going to get back to normal? The other business leader was like, oh man, I was down for a couple of days, and then I began to pivot, and we began to make adjustments. I talked to all my franchisees. I had to go talk to their bankers, blah, blah, blah. And before you know it, they're only down 18%. But the truth is that parallels two types of business people. The one right now that's throwing a pity party, or the other one that's making the adjustments, that is pivoting. My best-selling book, Swim, is about a shark. The beautiful thing about the book, we clearly show that a shark is made of cartilage. That's why they run the ocean. They know when to pivot. They know when to change. They know when to shift. Guys, when I found myself on a bench, I shifted. I was a high school basketball star. Now I'm in college sitting on a bench. I got to change. I got to shift. Many of my teammates didn't, and they stayed on the bench. And I was able to have an 8-year basketball career. So the off season for all of us is a great opportunity to get bigger, stronger, and faster. So I want to encourage every franchisee, every entrepreneur, every business owner, every franchisor. This is a great chance not to work in your business, but to work on your business so you can get in the weight room and get bigger, get stronger, and get faster. And there's no better time than right now.
Walter, I mean, it's amazing advice, right? Because ever since, and I feel you worry about the health, but I feel every day, every minute, like if I'm not doing something to change what we do and improve it. I was looking at what you teach, and I think your second point was about attitude, right? Looking up, never down. And to me, every successful person has that attitude. It's crazy, Walter. We're on for 4 seconds. I already want to join your mastermind and stuff. But like, how do you get to that attitude? What are the guardrails to make sure you stay in line? What's your advice there?
Because, I think differently, and I think it's been a huge advantage because I've struggled, I have failed, and I've been able to be successful. So my whole mindset is totally different. And someone hit me a little note on social media. I wish I remembered who it was, but he says, Walter, chaos is a ladder. And I thought about it, man, that's brilliant. I mean, this is a great opportunity for any brand to reposition themselves. There's no better time than now because about 90% of our environment is waiting for this to be over, just watching Netflix all day, watching movies. But about 10% of business leaders are pivoting, are changing, improving their marketing. Okay. And for example, let me tell you something that you should be doing. Are you guys ready for this? If you're not pivoting to get into the people business, you're going to miss the game. So many businesses have been putting profits over people. They're the ones who are scrambling. They're the ones who are going to have employees who might not ever come back. They're going to go through the front door or the back door. What do I mean by that? When you go through the front door, right now, your employees and your teammates, they clearly know whether you care about them or not. This crisis has made that painfully clear. And when someone knows you don't really care about me, they're going to lead through the front door and they're going to give you the number one sign on their way out. It's not the number one sign, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. When this epidemic is over, the people who realize you didn't care about them, they might not tell you, but they're going to leave through the back door. The companies right now that are winning, trust me, the companies right now that are winning are in the people business. And many of them were already in the people business before the quarantine got into effect. And they're doing fine, okay? The ones who are struggling were in the profit business. And when you think about money over people, you make totally different decisions. So in the long run, you will never win by focusing on your people. So any franchises, any entrepreneurs listening to me today, get into the people business. Why? Because anything you're going to get to hit your register is going to pass through another person's hands. When I left sports and got into business, a business guy told me, he says, Walter, you're going to do fine. And I was nervous. I was scared. I had no money coming in. My checking account was dwindling, guys. And this one business leader told me something that changed the game for me. He says, Walter, you're a people person. You're going to do fine. In fact, you're like a natural born salesman. I'm like, what do you mean by that? I was a little offended. Like, I'm not slick. He said, no, that's not what I mean. You're easy to talk to. You're likable. You're trustworthy. And you have integrity. You're going to do fine in business. And I thought, like, okay, I just got to be me then. Right? And for 19 years, just being me has really positioned us to be successful and to get the benefit of the doubt, to close the deal. We just closed a casino to train 3,000 employees. Guys, it came down to us and Disney. Now, can I be honest with you? I thought I had the deal closed. And the client says, well, you know what? We got to look at one more vendor before we make our decision. And he let me know that he's going to Orlando. And I said, if you don't mind asking, I want to know who my competition is. He says, well, Walter Disney offers the same culture training you offer. And I'm like, Disney? Disney? The mouse rat Disney? He says, yeah. And I was nervous. I was like, oh my God, like, how do you compete with Disney? Long story short, he came back to town. He gave me a call when he promised. And he says, Walter, send over the contract. And I was like, dude, we beat Disney. And the lesson that I learned is that he couldn't say no because he liked me. He couldn't say no because he felt connected to me. He couldn't say no because I sold him that I'm real, I'm dynamic, and I'm down to earth. And I'm going to relate to all of your employees, the successful ones, and I also can relate to the ones who might be struggling or who might have lost confidence. And that spoke to him. And he said, yes. So business people, get into the people business. Your coworkers, your employees, they're people. Your customers are people. Your vendors are people. You're spending a lot of time at home. Connect with those people. Connect with your children people because they're people too. Your wife, your husband, your significant other. We're all in the people business. And if we get really good at being in the people business, we're going to be sustained through any type of economy. And I'm going to make one more point. I did a lot of work with Bristol Firestone, and I had breakfast with a guy named John Gamoff, and he had just taken Bristol Firestone through the largest recall in retail history. I don't know if you guys remember this. The largest recall in retail history. And you know what he taught me? He said, you know what? All of our tire dealers and distributors kept us in business. They would tell every customer who came into the store, hey, Firestone, Bristol made a mistake. They got it worked out. Great tire. John Gamoff, the president of Bristol Firestone, basically taught me that we had the largest recall in retail history, and we got kept in business through our relationships. Even the competitors are keeping them in business. Even the other tire companies were like, hey, you know what? We might be Continental Tire, we might be Goodyear, but Bristol Firestone, those are good people. They made a mistake, but it's a good tire. I saw it up close. I thought that these other tire companies were going to destroy them. They didn't. You know, a good buddy of mine is Peter Cancrow with Jersey Mike Subs. My goodness, he takes care of his people. He hired me to do 24 events. And all he said, Walter, I want you to be the voice. I want you to connect with my managers. I want you to connect with my franchisees. I want you to lift up my supervisors. I want you to come in and energize our whole brand. I mean, this dude is paying for all the retrofits of every location in Jersey Mike's system. Nobody does that. 2,300 locations. And he's paying for the retrofits. Why? He's in the people business. He don't worry about money. He takes care of his people, and his people take care of him. That is an aha for some people, but you know what? My mama taught me a long time ago. Be sweet, baby. Just be sweet. Just get along with people. My mother was a kindergarten teacher. Be sweet, baby. Be sweet. It's in my keynote. I tell the whole story. People are crying when I'm done. My father was the guy that said, go get it, son. Go get it. Go get it. That was his motto. Go get it. You know, that's why I talk about the shark mindset. Sharks never stop moving or they die. My father built that into me. Go get it, son. Go get it. But my mama taught me something. Be sweet, baby. Be sweet. Just get along with people. And that's my message for the franchise community. That's my message for the business community. That's my message for anybody. Get along with people, take care of your people, and go get it. Be relentless. Those two combinations are just two of the sacred six in our book. There's six of them. And if you can just execute two of them, you will master your life, your business, your industry. Peter Cancrow bought 3,000 copies for his people. I mean, it's just a different mindset. It's a different way of looking at it. And you know, he told me, hey, Walter, it's just money. It's just money. Let me take care of my people. And I'm sure you guys have great examples of the same thing. I've seen these examples in every other industry I've been in at a high level. My college basketball coach, my God, I can cry talking about this man. He recruited me as a little boy, and he taught me that I had potential. And when I got done playing college ball, not only did he teach me how to become an NBA ball player, he said, you know what, son? I think you should be a motivational speaker. I was 21 years old. I was like, what are you talking about? I want to play in the NBA. He saw something in me that I didn't see myself. And so this one guy helped me develop into an NBA ball player. And he also helped me find my life after sports. I became a motivational speaker because of him, because he was an impact player and he was really good with his people. So any leader right now struggling today, I got the answer. I got the solution. You got to take care of your people. 24 events? Come on. I touched everybody in the entire brand. You got to keep your people's head in the game right now. Okay? What are you doing to keep your people head in the game? Your franchisees head in the game? What are you doing to keep your managers' heads in the game? What are you doing to keep your customers' heads in the game? Are you somewhere you got your head buried in sand and you're worrying about your checkbook and your money and you're holding on to it like this? You can't take it with you. You can't take it with you. Take care of your people right now, and your people will take care of you. And your customers are people. Feed people if you have food. Clean for people if you have a sanitation service. Whatever you do to help people, we've been launching free videos online. Now, our paying customers who want custom, they got to pay. Let me be clear on that. But we've been doing a bunch of videos online. We've been doing a bunch of podcasts because we realize that, man, this world needs us right now. And I'm not going to be the guy who's going to mark up his mask because people need it. I'm not going to mark up my ventilator because people need it. No, this is me. And this is what I do. And people need me right now. I have motivational speakers call me saying, "Want this stuff out here. I'm thinking about quitting." You know what I tell them? Quit. Because if you think about it, you're a motivational speaker thinking about quitting. You're not built for this industry. Oh, I'm built for this. Right? I'm working harder than ever because this is when my clients need me most. I'm on the phone all day long coaching. I'm on the phone all day long consulting. Why? Because this is when my clients need me. And since they need me now, I'm telling them, they're like, hey, you know what? How much? I'm like, let's not worry about that right now. We'll get to that. But don't even worry about that right now. Let's make sure everybody's okay. Let's work on some videos. Let's do some webinars. Let's take care of your people. We'll worry about the money later. My first NBA check, guys, I didn't even cash it for like 6 weeks. I'm not driven by money. I literally want to be the best. Because if you become the best, the money gonna follow you anyway. And I understand that. I became one of the best basketball players in the world. The money was the benefit. I'm a Hall of Fame motivational speaker. The money is the benefit. So whatever industry you're in, don't focus on the money. Focus on becoming the best in the world at what you do. And the money is a reward. The money is the benefit.
Walter, there's a million things that I can unpack there, but one thing that I'm thinking about, and look, I tend to have a similar mindset in navigating this mess. I have a business to manage, I have people to manage, I have clients to manage as a layer. Somewhere underneath there, I have opportunity and gap management so that I can climb the ladder or turn chaos into my ladder. I have family and health. And we're in the middle of a presidential election, so it complicates everything from loans that are coming through. So it's complex. So I have a similar mindset, and I thankfully, however my DNA was constructed, I don't battle depression. Stress affects me in a different way. It doesn't cause anxiety for me. It more so makes me be more reflective. But I do have tough moments where I'm like, whoa, there's a lot going on. So with you, I mean, 2 points, and I'd love your feedback on this. One, what an amazing statement. You started by giving a comparison of two mindsets, two franchisors. One's down 18% and they're celebrating that. That's amazing, guys. Like that's like saying we're losing, but we're okay with it because we found a way to lose less than everyone else. That's an amazing mindset. And then secondly, so you like 100 keynote speeches a year, the industry just got disrupted. Social distancing is going to change the way conferences behave in the future. So my question is, you have these struggle moments, even if it's for 3 seconds. How do you talk yourself into it? And even though the industry is being disrupted, are you seeing tremendous opportunity? Because the reality, we're connecting just as much as you would in person on this video chat. Like, there's other ways that we can bond as human beings. I'd love your feedback on that.
Well, here's the truth. The people who are waiting for the world to get back to normal is making a huge mistake, because I don't think this world is ever going to be the same, because this is a global issue. This is bigger than just your city or state. This has affected the world. This is going to affect travel. This is going to affect cruise ships. But the truth is, whoever pivots the right way, Whoever pivots the smart way is going to win and win big. Now, for example, for me, the reason I'm so excited is that I've always wanted to get my business online. I've been flying on airplanes for a long time. Okay, I got 2 million miles with Delta. I might have 1 million miles with American, and I've literally been away from home a long time. And so we're working hard to get our business online, get our business automated, improve our coaching program, improve our website. I mean, it's like, oh God, what a great break! This is time for me to reset. If you really think about it, this is a chance for all of us to reset. And for most of us, the number one place we might need to reset is at home. Have we been able to spend that quality time with our children? Have we been able to spend that quality time with our significant other? Have we been able to eat healthy, right? Have we been able to have balance? This is a great chance to not look at what's wrong with the quarantine, what's right with the quarantine. I went out in my backyard and I was scrubbing my outdoor cushions on my outdoor furniture, which had gotten nasty. Had a bunch of mildew and mold on it. And you know what? I was like, man, without this break, I never would have cleaned these cushions. The truth is this: I've lived all over the world. And I do know one thing about America, and I've had global reach, but we have an interesting culture. If you think about it, guys, when someone asks you, when you first meet a person, in America, we ask you their name. And the second question is always the same: what do you do? And if what you do is not interesting, typically the conversation is almost over, right? So you and all of us have learned to say something interesting. Well, I'm a business disruptor, or I'm private equity, or I'm a day trader. Most of us have been I'm a barista, whatever, at Starbucks. Most of us have learned how to say and answer something in a sexy way because we know that we need to engage someone we're talking to. So that's why we work so hard. That's why we're so work driven, because what we do is basically synonymous with who we are. And so to me, we all get a chance to reset right now and get some balance. I do workshops on work-life balance, and most people lie on them. Because I'll challenge them, rate these in order. What's the most important things to you? 1 to 5, and rank them in order. And most of them say the politically correct thing: God, family, then work. And that's a lie. Because I challenge my audience, if I just looked at your life, what order do I think you come in? Is God really number one when you say he's number one? Is family really number two? You spend all your time at work. So my point is, we all got a chance to reset. Whatever was off, whatever need to get an adjustment, whatever need to get tweaked, whatever need to improve. I know people who are smart. If you needed help with drugs, alcohol, maybe this is a great opportunity to do some counseling, right? This is a great chance to improve any weak area you had. So when the quarantine is over, you will be better. You will be stronger. You will be faster. And let me give you a warning. The worst thing you can do right now is nothing. The real losers right now are going to be the people who do absolutely nothing. Sit on the couch watching Hulu and Netflix all day. They're going to be the real losers, because this world is not going to be the same. And I think the early adapters are who are going to win this game.
Walter, again, I don't know how to do justice to what you've been saying. It's interesting because there is a reset in business and personal, and the personal reset is going to reset the business too, right? And just talk about a blessing. My wife goes to church. My sons do. I don't always go. I rarely go. So this Easter, we had a video mass we're watching in my son's bedroom, who's back from college because of this pandemic, right? So an amazing blessing. And then it extrapolates, and then all of a sudden that creeps into business and expectations. But Walter, you have me wanting to jump off the table. Like when you're talking about the people business, I'm like, I got this. Now, maybe 2 minutes after we get off the call, I need to get on a coaching program because it's going to disappear. But what I find really interesting, Walter, I couldn't connect it. We're speaking with so many franchise leaders, and they're focused on core values. They're focused on why they exist. And then listening to you speak, core values, why you exist, value propositions, and they're all genuine about it. And we have franchisees, franchisors together, and it really comes down to what you're saying about being in the people business. It's all people. And and when it's crazy, right? Because I guess it's mindset, I guess it's the right opportunity. I guess it's who's saying it. You said something that in one element could seem so simple. It's a people business, but yet 2 minutes ago was the most profound thing I've heard, right? And is driving so much. And then so how does everyone take this moment and like, how do you make sure you keep living it and it gets ingrained? And what you just said, and that energy I felt when you were talking about that people business, how do you keep that going and stick with it?
Well, I think it's a hard issue, to be honest. And, I'm a guy who is real and I'm able to be real with myself. And the beauty of being an athlete, you know your strengths, you know your weaknesses. So in order to attack your off season, you have to admit that I need to lose weight. I'm fat, or I need to get stronger. I mean, one thing about being an athlete, we got immediate feedback. And when you get this immediate feedback, you learn how to be confident, but also be able to evaluate yourself. And so when I left sports and got into the real world, I began to see all these elaborate defense mechanisms that people have. Like, I do a lot of events for my clients, and the real ones, I'll ask them about their culture and how's it going. And I'll ask a tough question. And sometimes, even in the prep call, they give me all these justifications. I'm like, look, I need the down and dirty. Right? I need the real skinny so I can come and help you at your annual conference and give you some real momentum. If I come in here glossing things over, if I don't put the moose on the table, if we don't really deal with what's real, it's not going to have an impact. And so I'm about transformation, honestly. And I'm telling you, when I sat down with my coach and he was like, you can't run, you can't jump, you can't dribble, you can't shoot, you can't rebound at an NBA level. Thank you, coach. And I agree with you. So by me being accountable and owning my shortcomings, that's what motivated me to get better. And I'm gonna tell you the transformation I had as a speaker. I understood being entertaining when I first began to speak. And as a former athlete, I just thought people wanted to hear my story. And I had a pivot in my business that really shifted our whole business. My wife says, you talk about yourself too much. And I said, what do you mean? They paid me to hear my story. She says, I know, but you got to learn how to tell your story, not just to tell your story. You got to learn how to tell your story to help them. And I was like, okay, all right. Because athletes can be a little narcissistic, a little self-centered, and it's just the nature of the game. And I never forget, I did a keynote for the Minnesota Association of High School Principals. And I gave them an evaluation, and I got off stage, and I just thought I killed it. And I got a standing ovation. But I read my evaluations, and this is what they said. Walter, you are very entertaining and dynamic. You're incredibly talented. But the more I heard you speak, the more I realized you were up there for you and not for me. Walter, I could listen to you all day, but you didn't give me anything that could help me in my professional career. Guys, I came home and literally cried. I read each evaluation and I let it hurt. I let it hurt good because my wife had been telling me, and it was like a blind spot. We all have blind spots if we're honest with ourselves. And I told my wife after I cried, I will never hear that again. I will never have another audience tell me that I didn't give them value to help them in their career. And for me, that was no different than my coach saying, hey, man, you got to gain 10 pounds. You got to lose 10 pounds. That was that moment where Walter Bond, the thought leader, Walter Bond, the business coach, Walter Bond, the impact player was born. And the talent was there, but the heart wasn't. It was all about me. But once I had the transformation and I made it about my audience, that's when I began to hear from Buffalo Wild Wings and Little Caesars and Domino's. And that's when the big boys came in. And that's when I began to open up the conference and I began to close the conference. And then I stumbled into clients who began to use me again and again and again. Now we do trainings and now we do coaching sessions. And the transformation started with me. The transformation started right in my heart. and in my head. So the challenge, honestly, is if you're not in the people business, you're clearly in the money business. And that's a heart issue. Just make a subtle shift and say, you know what? I can't put profits over people. And a lot of business leaders say it, and it sounds good, but your people know. They know in their heart whether or not you put profits over people. And the smart businesses who are thriving right now, the smart businesses that are positioned right now, and I've seen it in all different industries. I've seen Jersey Mike's. They have not laid off anybody, okay? Believe it or not, okay? I also have a casino who kept 3,000 employees on payroll. 3,000! Because they're not in the casino business. They're in the people business. It's Choctaw Casino in Oklahoma. So I've seen it in various industries. I've seen it in sports. I've had coaches who I knew didn't care about my development. They were just trying to keep their job. And I know the difference. But the coaches I'm endeared to, the coaches that I'm loyal to, the coaches that I'll run through a wall for are the coaches I knew that cared about me, who wanted the best for me, that was trying to help me get to where I wanted to go. So I've seen it clearly in sports, guys, and I've seen it clearly in business, and I've even seen the struggle inside myself. So I'm here to tell anybody listening, get over you, okay? Stop focusing on you. Stop being centered on you and become a servant to people. And now that we serve people, my God, I got all kind of presidents and CEOs calling us every day, all day. Okay, Walter, I'm thinking this. What do you think? Okay, I want you to do this. I want you to do that. I want you to build us an online university. The money's coming. The money is coming. When I made the shift and got into the people business and stopped thinking about me, and I began to serve, and our revenue exploded. And to me, it's a subtle difference, guys, but it is the difference that you can shift to right now because sharks are made of cartilage, remember? And I think if a smart business person makes that shift right now, they will realize that this quarantine and the shark mindset and shifting like a shark might be the biggest blessing that comes out of this quarantine. Because if you don't shift right now, you're going to pay a steep price when it's over.
Man, I mean, everything you're saying, you just gave everybody the guidebook to be successful. I mean, if you think about attacking the off season, which is, I mean, you talk about that you're stuck on planes all the time. You didn't give yourself an off season to push the reset button, and you know, maybe it's because after the crappy economy of 2009, 10, 11, when that got better and all of a sudden everything was good, we forgot to take a breath and say, hey, let's find the flaws in our business. That is impactful. The people side, it's interesting. My company has had challenges as we navigate this, just like everyone else. In full transparency, we made a decision to lay off some non-essential positions to our business that didn't impact the clients on a human standpoint. And one guy in our organization calls me and he goes, I'm willing to take a pay cut if you need me to, Nick, because I want to make sure that we get to the other side. And I go, no, that's not happening, because my belief is pay cuts can potentially demotivate people. But I was like, wow, there it is. Like, it's not going to be everybody. But as long as I can do my best to try to be a good human to people that I work with and our clients and connections, then we got a shot to do some amazing things. And amazing isn't going to be defined necessarily by having 1 million clients. It's going to be like micro and feeling good about it, because the other thing you said is you don't get buried with this stuff. So like, if you micro your successes down and focus on small victories that are bridged with people and the build smaller off seasons before you hit each quarter, then this is an off season that right now we are preparing for Q3. And when you change that mindset, you got a big chance to win. And you know, I greatly appreciate conversations like this. I appreciate the relationship that I've had with you over the years. I appreciate you spending some time talking with us. Any final thoughts?
No, you know, my final thought is that, you know, we still don't know when this is going to be over. I mean, obviously, we have some hope. It seems like there's a little bit of a shift that we're talking about opening up the country again. Nobody knows when that's going to be. Nobody knows what that's going to look like. And I think some businesses are thriving right now, right? I would love to have a hand sanitizer company right now, right? And some companies are going to get back, but it's going to be like the final indicator, like cruise lines. I think once Carnival and these other cruise lines get back to the sea, to me, that's going to be the final indicator that we have created this new normal. And so the real challenge is to anticipate where your industry is headed and don't meet it there, beat it there. I just said something brilliant. Hopefully everybody caught it. Anticipate. Wayne Gretzky put it this way. He was a great hockey player because he never worried about where the puck was. He could always anticipate where the puck was going to be. Dennis Rodman was the same way. He was a great rebounder because he had incredible instincts and can almost anticipate where the ball was going. And I had it to a lesser degree, obviously, than a Dennis Rodman and the Barkley, but I had it to some degree. So I understand instincts and anticipating. So right now, I want to challenge all my business leaders to anticipate where your industry is going to be once the quarantine is over and begin to strategize. And again, don't meet it there, beat it there, because if you have the right strategy, the Wayne Gretzky strategy, you can reposition yourself and be in a much better position. I started my business October 2001. You guys remember what happened in September, 9/11? And people looked at me like, dude, are you freaking nuts? Why would you start a speaking business October 11? One, my basketball career was over. I had no choice. But I saw the advantage of it. Everybody was sitting at home paralyzed with fear, doing nothing. And my wife and I back then, we would just market like crazy. And when 9/11 kind of settled, we marketed so aggressively. All of a sudden, all these meeting planners were like, hey, where'd you come from? I was like, ding, I've been here the whole time. At least you thought out. And I met a guy named Sandy Lechner. I spoke at a franchise event. During one of the hustling deals I did, I forgot the company, it was an ice cream company. And he goes, well, how do you know so much about franchising? I said, well, my wife and I used to be franchisees. You did? Like, do you want to speak at more franchise events? Oh, sure, why not? And before I knew it, guys, I was an IFA. I was doing all these franchise events because I might be the only Hall of Fame speaker who's also a former franchisee. So when I get on the platform, I understand the franchisee. I'm hired by the franchisor, but I understand the mindset of the franchisee. And the system I came out of, I was very disappointed with. And so I often give a little accountability to the franchisor. You say, hey, okay, I'm gonna come in and get your franchisees jazzed up, but you need to tighten up too. You need to improve too, because here's the truth. I'm an entrepreneur and I'm an innovator. And one mistake innovators, and I have a teamwork methodology called iTeam. And I've created a framework on how to build a team. And there's 5 positions on the team: innovator, initiator, instigator, improver, and implementer. I'm an innovator. And what happens to innovators, we come up with great ideas and we get so excited about the idea, sometimes we half bake it, right? And I see that in franchising. You got an innovator who comes up with the idea, he or she half bakes it and then launches it. And before you know it, they sell it. People get into the system and they're like, man, where's the support? What this is half baked. And then you get lawsuits. You get a lot of angry people. So to me, I understand my strengths, I understand my weaknesses, and I understand teamwork. So my message to anyone right now listening, go get better, right? Here's my final thought. Another benefit of the quarantine, there's a lot of talent on the sideline right now. There's a whole lot of talent on the sideline. Now, if we remember pre-quarantine, a lot of companies were struggling to find good talent. Now, if you get your head out of the sand and stop throwing your pity party and realize, like, you know what? Walter's right. There's a whole lot of talent in the market right now. What could I do to improve and upgrade my talent on my team? Because look, I'm a sports guy. You can't win a team without talent. You can't. And here's the beauty. Tom Brady loved New England so much, he took a pay cut pretty much every year because he just loved the environment. He loved the culture. He loved playing football. Money is so overrated, guys. Money is overrated. Let's be honest about it. If you have the right culture, if people are able to own things, if you're progressive in a high achieving environment, a lot of people are looking for it. They're looking to be a part of a high achieving team. And if your environment is that, you can attract high performers. You can attract high achievers. My college basketball coach, anybody who called me and said, hey, I'm thinking about playing at the University of Minnesota for Clem Haskins, absolutely. No doubt about it. I wouldn't think twice. Why? Because I came through his program. I'm a believer, and I got impacted by it. Why wouldn't I sell the environment? Why wouldn't I sell the culture? So if you have a culture that your employees aren't selling, you got work to do. If you have a culture that people are leaving through the front door and the back door on a regular basis, and you've justified and said, well, it's hard to find good help. No, your culture sucks, dude. You're a jerk, right? Let's be honest. People don't leave buildings, they leave people. And we've all had an idiot for a boss. I know we have. And it's painful. And so when I go to events, I'm real. I challenge the entire system. I challenge the franchisees, and I challenge the franchisors. Let's all get better. Because coaches who are part of the team, we're going to win together, we're going to lose together. Franchisors, you're a teammate too. We're going to lose together, we're going to win together. And if that's your mindset, you're not in the people business. You're not. You just came up with a half-baked idea and you sold a bunch of unsuspecting people and you haven't helped them. Your job is to sell them a successful business. That's what you should be selling. You're not selling pizza. You're not selling cleaning services. You should be selling a successful business. That's what you want to sell, Mr. Franchisor. And if your system is not successful, if your EBITDA is not good, go fix it. Go improve it. And that's how you build a healthy system. And your own franchisees should be the main ones knocking down the door. Hey, I want more locations. Hey, I need more territories. I love the brand. I love what we're doing. Oh my God. Ooh, give me more, please. I love everything about it. If your franchisees aren't responding that way, you got work to do. And so I'm in the business of transformation, and I've learned how to challenge myself, and I've been able to become the best in the world. Think about it, guys, in 2 different industries. I played in the NBA. There's only 450 guys a year to get a jersey. I'm a Hall of Fame speaker. There's less than 200 alive. If I can do it twice using the same mindset, my purpose is to teach everyone I come in contact with on how to reach the pinnacle of their business. I shared a lot today, and I give. And all I want to hear from you guys is thank you. If you tell me thank you, my day is won. Because I understand I'm in the people business. And I understand my phone gonna ring. I get it, but my job is not to worry about that. My job is to serve. And the day that I made that transition myself and got the eyes off me was the day that Walter Barnes seminars came alive, and that positioned us to get to the top of the food chain. And it opened up so many doors that, again, Jersey Mike's used me 24 times, guys. They were about to use me for the 25th time before we had to shut it down. And Peter said, as far as I'm concerned, you're going to be at every one of our conferences. And I'm just like, man, I want to be that impact player. And the way I became that impact player is to take my eyes off of money and put my eyes on how can I help people. So I'm in the people business, guys. And I want to encourage everybody listening today to make that shift. Get into the people business because it's simply just the right thing to do.
Walter, personally, not only do I thank you, I can tell you I am grateful for this opportunity. And all this craziness, never did I think I'd have the privilege and benefit of having a conversation with you like this. I am so looking forward to seeing you at franchise conventions, and with the hope, I'm like, hey, Walter, buddy, we're going to drink together. But the gratitude I have for what you shared, and also gratitude toward your mom and dad for those amazing lessons, Walter. So on my end, I can't thank you enough. And for me to try to summarize any of the points you've just made, other than I will tell you, you're responsible for what's going to happen here. I'm like, so like the energy in me right now, and I felt it all along, but I'm really grateful. So on my end, I really appreciate what you've shared with us. And again, it's not money. I get people may not operate for money, but you've also taught humility and giving, and I so appreciate that. And to say it's impactful really does an understatement to that term.
Well, hey, Nick, Charles, thank you for having me today. And, honestly, the book that I wrote, Swim, it was organic. Man, I went swimming one day and caught this suckerfish. And I asked the captain of the boat, I was like, the fish looked weak, right? And I was like, how does this weak fish make it in the ocean? And he said, a suckerfish is waiting for a shark to come by. And when the shark comes by, it uses its suction to connect to the shark. Guys, I dropped my fishing pole and I was like, oh my God, like that's a coaching metaphor. That's a mentoring metaphor because my dad was my shark and I was the suckerfish. I flunked out of my first high school. I share all that when I keynote. I flunked out of my first high school. My dad was a high school principal. I was ashamed of myself. And he transferred me to his school. So he becomes my father and my favorite teacher. So he was my first shark. I was a suckerfish. My college basketball coach became my second shark, and I became a suckerfish. So in the book Swim, we're teaching people how to be a shark. But more importantly, the essence of life is how many people can you take with you? Right? Like how many people can you take with you on your success journey? In my neighborhood, a guy in our neighborhood named Bernie Marcus, and he did a symposium for all the residents, founder of Home Depot. And he talked a lot about politics, and a lot of people get a little goofy on that. I'm not a politician, but he said something that was brilliant. He never talked about money. This guy's a billionaire. All he talked about were all the people he made millionaires. I mean, I almost had tears of joy. I was like, dude's up here bragging about all the millionaires he made. He should be a billionaire. You're producing millionaires. You should be. You should be a billionaire. And for an hour, he bragged about all of the people that he met. A woman from Jamaica who only had a GED, and another guy who came out of drugs. He gave count by count of people he kind of found on the street that were almost, I don't want to say derelicts, but almost down and out, and how he transformed them into millionaires. I'm like, this is it. This is the magic that leaders got to have. So as I close, Sacred Six is what we teach in the book. The final one has business people reading it, calling me back and say, Walter, I'm on a plane bawling because they realize that I've been successful, but I haven't taken anybody with me. I don't have a track record of any. Great coaches in sports have a coaching tree. Okay, that's the sign of a great coach. They have a coaching tree. Okay, all of their assistant coaches are in high demand because they developed their assistant coaches so well that now they're head coaches. So I want to challenge all my franchisors. How many leaders have you developed? How strong is your coaching tree? You should be honored that your coaching tree is so strong that all these other systems are trying to steal your people away. That is the ultimate compliment. And to me, that's what a shark is all about. You want to be successful, but how many people can you take with you? And the business leaders who read my book, the conviction is so strong, and they realize that, man, I'm 60 years old and I made all this money, but it's not too late for me to go and be somebody's mentor. It's not too late for me to go and coach somebody else. And that's where joy comes. That's what a real satisfaction of life, that you know that you bless somebody else. You know you bless some other family. You know you develop somebody else into the next great CEO, the next great franchisee. Man, Peter Cancro got franchisees who were managers in high school, and now they're franchisees. And I'm seeing this at a conference. I was like, they're like, man, I started when I was 14 at Jersey Mike's. Now I own 30 stores. Dude, I'm saying it, and I'm sure there's other brands that do it. I'm just telling you what I've seen. Who wouldn't run through a wall for that kind of opportunity? And I know people who bless me when I've been down and out. My loyalty, I'll take a bullet for you. My college coach, I'll take a bullet. My daddy, I'll take a bullet. right? Tiger Woods fell apart. When did he fall apart? When his dad died. Come on, let's be honest. People talk about what's wrong with Tiger Woods. He lost his support. Who does Tiger Woods call and confide in? Who does Tiger Woods grieve to? Who's not going to turn it into a tell-all book and not going to try and leverage it into a TMZ exclusive? We all need help. We all need support. And that's why I talk about sharks. Sharks take suckerfish with them. And that's the message I want to leave with you guys. Get into the people business and take your franchisees with you. Get into the people business. Take your corporate team with you. Don't be focused on how much money you're going to make. Focus on how many people that you can bless. And if you can do that for yourself, trust me, this hour we spent today will be maybe the best hour you might spend all year.
All right, so to close this out, Walter, I'm just going to pop these up on the screen because already the rave reviews are just coming in, piling in. I mean, it's awesome.
Oh, well, hey, thank you for the opportunity. I mean, I've done a lot of franchising. IFA has been great to us. I've spoken in San Antonio, Arizona, and I'm here to serve. And again, I understand franchising. I've seen every type of brand. I've seen thriving brands. I've seen struggling brands. I've seen brands that can go either way. And my job is just to make a combination of everything I've seen to really come and just be a great teammate, you know, to any brand who think I can help them.
I love it. Appreciate you. Appreciate this. Walter Bond, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Stay
Walter.
safe.
Awesome. Thanks, Charles. Thanks,
Take
Nick.
care.
All right. Have a good one.